Hmm. How you doing? Uh, Nino, are you still there? Can you hear me okay? I guess I'm 14 seconds early or something like that, but wanted to be sure I was on time today. So anyway, so what's up? I say something. Hi, as I said, can you hear me okay? Sound all right today? Hey, Dr. A and B. Hey, Carlos, how you doing? How are things in Panama these days? I bet it's warmer there than it is here. Hi, Ines, something loud and clear. Oh, that's good. Enrique, how you doing? Okay, Amin, how are you? Javier, Yakan. Oh, from Egypt. How you doing, man? Oh, Klaus. Oh, good. Klaus, the sound all right? It's always warm in yeah. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Paul, I everything. I hope everything is, knock on wood that everything is working good. Oh, okay. Find motivated sellers. Okay, get a bit cold. Oh, hi NRS. Sounds good. Good. Okay. Hi James. First advice: don't trust the liars. Yeah, you gotta spot them. One of the things I'll be the first to admit that high MP calling things axioms is a little sounds a little more than presumptuous almost. But there was a reason I did it that way, and the reason is this: is that I wanted to come up with a really tight group of four things that were easy to remember and sort of take other things off as a corollary. And so we can talk about corollaries, I suppose. How you doing, Clyde? So anyway, a couple of the things that came to mind uh, after I had made the video and wanted to say, okay, well, what are some other things to talk about? Are some little details, and the let me give you an example. Sometimes you'll see these watches, and there's something about them that, I mean, they look perfectly good. It's like a Audemars Piguet or something really well known, but they nobody seems to be interested. Now that can happen for a lot of reasons. I know that taking Audemars Piguet as an example, um, the new code ones weren't as popular as the Royal Oaks and a lot of things like that. And sometimes you can find some really good buys that way. But another reason I found out is that sometimes you go to buy a watch and you get the watch, it's got this little bitty dial. So a lot of time people forget to check the dial just to check the how big it is, and sometimes you'll see some ads that really don't even tell you what how big how big it is. So anyway, all right. So that's another thing to look for. Now, in addition to that, these are often perhaps some of the finer details. And sometimes you can get a really great deal. Let me give you one example. Some years ago, I was looking for a GMT, and I just spent all my money on a couple of FP Journes, and so I was sort of didn't really have a lot to buy a watch on, but I really wanted a GMT, and so I found this this Zenith GMT that I eventually got, and I looked and I looked and I said, well, why isn't this thing selling? And what I found out was that when I read the details of it, the seller, apparently must have been honest, otherwise I would never found out. Is that he said that it came on a metal bracelet, and the guy who had owned it had taken out some of the links of the bracelet, and so it was smaller. Now, for some people, that'd be ideal, but for me, I've never been accused of being thin of anything. So I thought, well, heck, getting a new band isn't rocket science. Or even I thought, well, maybe I could figure out a way to add some links to it, or even get a new band if I got enough price. So I lowballed the thing like mad. The guy accepted it immediately. I mean, I offered him like half of what he was asking for. He said great, because they hadn't been able to sell it because of that one thing. And once I got it, I went down to store and got a a blue bracelet, not a bracelet, but a band for it. So I mean, there are a lot of times when something doesn't look right, and it's not for some reason that you can overcome. So anyway, that was just a couple other things you got. Alex, how you doing, man? Ivan, let's see. Okay, okay, let's take a look at what's going on. Some of the ideas you've had. Don't trust names. Yes, I agree. Well, you do in a way. I mean, like if something is by uh, let's say Kerry Voutilanen. And if it were affordable, I don't have any problem with that. But other kinds of names, you really have to get, the bigger the name, the more the watches they have, the more you can find some things like that. So let me see what else you guys have. Somebody said, I think it was Mike, Tennessee Mike said, know your budget, and that's true, of course. Have any of you ever bought a watch that was like just more than you should have spent? I mean, seriously, more than you should have spent. Has anybody done that? That's one thing. That's one of the few things I haven't done. Uh, because when I was buying a lot of watches, I had more money, and then when I had to cut back, I cut back. But believe me, Mike's caution's a good one. Okay, hey Bruce, how's it going, man? Let's see, what do you guys have here? Um, Seth Morley, how you doing? Um, let's talk about Rolex and AP marketing strategy where you can't find it at any dealers. Let's not. There are like 1,000 forums on Rolex. Uh, yeah, you have dealers. It to some extent with a Rolex dealer, they got what they got. Okay, they're dependent on these other guys, and then of course they want to charge a premium and things like that. But my God, that has been talked to death. What I would rather talk about is that, for along with cautions come opportunities, and so I think that's sort of the other side of the coin. I don't want to talk about retaining value. I don't want to talk about flipping and investing money and things like that. That I want to talk about, let's see, certain things a collector can do to, one, get a really good deal, and two, not to get burned, and to what to take care of so that they can enjoy watch collection. I got to say it, and I will admit it, and I probably shouldn't, but one of the joys of watch collection is maneuvering through all of this chicanery that's going on. Look at this and look at that. I mean, what fun would it be if you walk down to an AD and you give me that new watch, and there's one price, there's no negotiation. Oh, oh, that's what Rolex buyers do to some extent. That's what FP Journe buyers do also, I got to tell you. Okay, on Amtrak, returning with my daughter from Boston. Went to Boston, huh? Enemy territory for you, Bruce. Okay, let's see. Spend more time reading and do your research in regards to what you wish to have. That again, Dr. A and B, I agree with you. That is the fun part. Is that what's the rush? You know, um, Flame retardant berets. All right, let's see what else you got. Buy something you can stand to look at every day. Maybe most important quality in buying. Hey, rich buddy. Um, yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you don't want to get something that is if something has something about it that's just not right. I once had a watch that I was mad at the movement. It's a beautiful watch, gorgeous watch, just fabulous looking watch. I could look at that every day, but I every time I looked at it, I saw the movement that I got burned on. I was mad about it. Hey, Rick, how's it going? Let's see. Requests a printed catalog. A lot of them are sent for free. Hey, that's a good idea. I don't do that, but I had every now and then when I go down to this there's this AD here who has Rolexes in West Hartford. He gives me these big fat um, books, almost like published books on that. Okay, let's see what else you got. The Watch Loop. Hey guys, hey, how you doing? Rocking a 50 Fathoms flyback. You're rocking it, huh? Why don't you wear it? That you don't have to rock it. All right, what else we got? Everybody's saying Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. The Watch Lounge. Let's see, kind of likely. Okay, what's up? What's going on here? Uh, be like, try to find a watch before buying it. Try out a watch before buying it. Yeah, yeah, that's you know, I think I think I've bought maybe only two, maybe three watches that I actually had in my fat hands before I bought them. It's like there are too many good buys everywhere in the world to do that. I so far I haven't been burned. The one time I was burned, it wouldn't have mattered whether I tried it on or not because it was the movement inside of a sealed case. Um, Rolex are not in the watch business. Their product has a time telling feature. That's all. All right. Live within your means. Yeah, that's true. You have to, this is the thing too. There's nothing wrong with saving and taking time. I've been saving for months now for this watch, and I plan to get it next year, which is next month, really. But that's you can do two things while you're saving. First of all, you can find out if really do you still really want it. There's so many different watches that come zooming by that oh boy I like that one. You see all of these watches, and you know so if you save and that takes time, you can tell a lot more whether you really want it or not, and you can also find out more about it. Depending on where you are, consider whether serviceability will be easy. Also, negotiate depending on whether the watch needs to be serviced soon. Lots of people sell right before a service is needed. Yeah, that's sort of an interesting thing. I suppose I should worry more about that. I've got this, I've got my guy who can fix anything. With my FP Journes, I simply send those down to Florida. And for the, if you have, there's certain kind of watches that I just don't let anybody touch except the the official people doing it. But the point is that if I have, let's say I wanted to sell my FP Journe, and because I know exactly what the when I last had it serviced, and the idea would be if a good time to sell it for me would be right before it needs another service, and a bad time to buy it would be right before it needs another service. But that's a good point. You can't find that out all the time. I had when I bought my both of my FP Journes, I had no idea when they had been serviced last. One came with no papers at all. The other one came with one of these little cards, and it told me when it was, when it was first sold and everything. And but it really didn't have much information about it as far as ongoing servicing is concerned. So I think the thing to do is that if you know it, yeah, that's a good idea. What I do though is that when I buy a watch, a really good one, that's not new, I have it serviced. I mean, there's like both of these, I had my FP Journes for, I don't know, a few months, and then I had them both serviced. And what you have with that, you have a point zero, and by a point zero, I mean you have some point that you can refer to with the watch. Some less expensive watches with interesting history. Think Vostok, Amphibia. Yeah, if you don't have much money and you don't want to save up a lot, yeah, that's a good option. Let's see. Watches as rewards and motivation when you achieve great things. Dr. A and B, what have you achieved greatly? My great thing is saving. That's uh yeah, every now and then I get an unexpected something happens and suddenly I get sent a big check. It mainly has to do with royalties of books I'd written in the past, and all of a sudden something will come up on a foreign translation or some deal, and they'll send it to me, and that goes into my watch kitty unless my wife intercepts it, then it goes somewhere else. Seller does not know when it was last serviced, assume it needs to be serviced. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. If again, the seller depends on who the seller is. Uh, you know, some some collector like us, we may not know because we weren't told and we got it. And some people don't worry about it a lot. Some people do. The seller does, yeah, right. Okay. Do you know who's the Muffin Man? Gingerbread Man, Rich Buddy. Gingerbread Man, not the Muffin Man. Hey, Wesley, is paying somewhat higher price to support local businesses logical to online? Oh, boy. That's a good question, Wesley. What do you guys think of that? I mean, you've got, like, I support my local watch maker guy, my 84-year-old watchmaker who doesn't use a time grapher, but I'd put his his adjustments up against anybody's. This is the guy that, like the pinball wizard, that's done by intuition and sense of smell, and he does everything. Hey, Eddie. Uh, let's see, Shrek. Okay. Uh, Shrek, huh? Okay, where's that? Where's our? Let's see. What else? What else you guys have for that? Um, know your style and taste rather than buying watches you wouldn't wear. That's a hard one, Dr. A and B, and I'll tell you why. I mean, well, maybe it's just me because I'm retired. I can wear anything I want, and I'll try a lot of different things. But you're something. There's something in that what you say is certain things work great with you because it's kind of stuff you like. Let me give you an example. Okay. Uh, this one, this is one of my favorite watches. It has a Bowen crown and a bar lug. These are not popular watches. This is a Beauvais 1930. Now, most people, most guys would, they want, something like a sports watch or something. Okay. So is that if somebody asked me about it, what would you say? What do you like? If that's what you mean by style, yeah, I have. I don't know. I've got. Sometimes I'll see something that I like that I never thought of, and so that I sort of incorporate it into my style. Hey, look, you're talking to a guy that wears a beret and a gingerbread man sweater. It sort of opens things up. Stay open minded. There you go, Tennessee Mike. That's a good way to put it, because you can have it's more fun. That's the only reason. This one, if I were like really serious guy, I would never bought a $200 uh, a regulator from China, but it's turned out to be a wonderful watch. I mean, it just that way. There's a Siegel movement in there that is especially built for regulators. Okay, it's got a lot of pins. Same thing with my Outlaw collection of the Jacquet 736. But the thing is that I wouldn't recommend it. Say, hell, this is what you ought to get. You'd be surprised how many people do that. Well, they like something, so you must get it too. That's nuts. I think a lot of you guys have said the same thing. No, like get what you like, but find out about why you like or why you want it. I think that's another thing. Okay, here comes now singing Beauvais, Beauvais. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know that song, Clyde. Okay, let's see. Also, for new enthusiasts, do not even consider buying a copy fake, no matter how convincing. I agree with that too. Hey, Don Toraneko. Hi, guys. Don Toraneko. Can we just call you Don? How you doing? Um, Oh, my Seiko 5. Yeah, that's another thing. Seiko 5s are great, and the Seiko 5 has history to it. There were more new innovations in the Seiko 5 than just about every other watch I have because it came about in 1967, came with the first time of all of these different things, and they're still using the same design, and it's just sort of a fun watch to have. Hey, Chris, Beauvais, Chris. I tell you, you got to be careful hanging around. Chris, you're too close to Clyde's comments. Oh, let's see. What hand model is your my $200 regulator? My $200 regulator is by a company called Perpetual. It says Perpetual regulator. Maybe I could, if I had to sell it, I could tell someone, see, it's a Perpetual. Thinking Perpetual calendar. It's the interesting thing about it. These things took off. The guy is working on his fourth batch. I had one from the first batch, and I guess I and some other people got one and really liked them. And there's $200, and they've been great. And that includes a genuine. I don't know what it is. It's probably stamped leather with a Gator stamp on it. Um, so you can have fun with watches. What did Clyde get that really surprised me? Oh, Hebdo Damari. Clyde got a Hebdo Damari, Hebdo Madiri, something like that. Anyway, Clyde got a Parmigiani with that. Those things have gone up in price. You can't get them anymore, or you can, but they're way rare. So and it's a cool watch. Though it's not the kind of watch I think that would be in so many of these conventional things. Okay, what else you guys have? Butcher. Hey, what get let's see. Support local businesses. Yeah, let's go back to that. Um, Local businesses, they got to support you though. I mean, there's some stuff. Let's say you go to your local guy and he's got a watch you want, and the watch is $10,000. You go online and you find the same thing for $5,000. It becomes very difficult to support your local guy when you see that. Um, that's like supporting your boutique. I went to the Vacheron Constantin boutique in New York, and I asked him about trade-ins on my old overseas. Oh, they don't do trade-ins. They don't do nothing. They don't do anything. And so, when it came to getting my Historique Americaine 1921, I went to this other place, $10,000 less. Okay. And I've had it ever since, and it's been perfect. It wasn't like, oh, you're going to be careful about those guys. Okay, let's see. Collectors I admire most have a G-Shock and a Paddock. Yeah, there you go. They got all of their bases covered. One of the things about a Patek Philippe, at least the one I got, the Calatrava, it's very much of a dress watch. It's in great shape, mainly because I don't wear it that much, because I was warned about, some people who really knew watches said, that's a really nice Patek, but you can't just wear that every day. It's something that you sort of have to reserve for special occasions. And that was when it said, you need a sports watch. And so I ran out and got the overseas, and it turned out to be good advice. But, now that I'm retired, I can wear my Patek Philippe anytime I want to, but I sort of rotate everything around. Okay, Lang 31. There you go. What is my most loved caliber? I tell you, Don Torank, my most loved caliber is my Lang & Hein Caliber 6. And the reason for that is you can see it. You can look in that thing. It's a beautiful watch. My other love, and also my Resonance, I love it. That's a beautiful caliber. My double hairspring, that's a beautiful caliber. Even these calibers on these Chronomet Souverain, and the Chronomet Blue, Souverain, Holland & Holland, they're all the same. And the double barrels, let's see, you either do it serial or parallel, and his was parallel. And that even charge to it, so that there's more even in it. Follow the movement. Yeah, establish a range of watches that use it, and don't 1,000 more in case. Yeah, you're right. That's a really good piece of advice for it, and I like it. Hey, Crappy, how's it going? If every man owned an Orvis, the world would be a better place. Okay. That I like Oris. Oris has come around. Oris has got some neat movement. There was a watch that I was looking at today in the collection that's going to be in a review tomorrow. I saw this watch, one that the collector had, and so I went to find out about the movement for it, and it turned out to be amazing. And so that's another thing. Also, too, we recently there was a video we had about the UWD 33.1, which is the one that Marco Lang made. And there are only a couple watch companies that use it right now. And I'm going to try to get my mitts on one and do something a lot more in detail about that. That's a cool move, good piece of advice. Hey, Nino, don't overlook Balm and Mercier. Good value for the money. Sometimes they are. Yeah, Balm and Mercier. The thing I don't like about them, they don't tell you what kind of movement they have. Most of the stuff they have is ETA and Solida. They came out with a Balmatic from Valfleury. Now that would be a good one. Okay. Okay, let's see. 44 caliber, the most powerful handgun in the world that will blow your head. What are you, what are you talking about? Foreman. Oh, okay. Let's see. I love my 50s pointer date. Yeah. Oh, yes. I love pointer dates. That would, to me, I really, all of my date watches have those little or bigger windows. Actually, as a matter of fact, I like the Parmigiani because they show 3 at a time, and my Harry Winston has this bio retrograde, the days of the week that way, and I really like that. But the hand date with a pointer, those are really cool. Some Ebels have a funky 70s vibe that's still cool. Yeah, they do. You know, this is there are a lot of interesting movements out there, and you know, even some of the ETAs are something else too that I ran into today when I was finding out about this movement. I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Is that the oh, what was it I was going to say now? What did they have? What was I looking at? Um, oh, yeah. It- I didn't. This wasn't part of the video, but the interesting part: these guys decide they're going to make their own movement, and people tell them, "Oh, you know, you're nuts. If you try to make your own movement, this is going to cost you 100 million uh, uh, Swiss francs. It's nuts. Don't even try to do it." And what they did that I thought was really interesting is that the guy that helped them solve the problem was a guy who was didn't know anything about watches, but apparently he knew a lot about business patents. I think it was patented. And I mean, a very interesting movement. It was a base movement, and there were 18 different designs they could have. Like they could put a chronograph on it or a calendar, all kinds of different things like that. So those are pretty cool. What do you think about the new Patek pointer date in steel for $55,000? Well, I like Patek Philippe. They make really good watches, but I think they're terribly overpriced. The one that I like is one of the gondolas. In fact, there's two long gondolas that have the same movement. It's really a cool movement, and the movement reminds me a lot of the movement that's in the Rolex Cellini Prince. This has that sort of the same torno-y, rectangular shape to it. Um, Oh, your Culpa. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. That Culpa. Those Culpas are the thing that's great about a Culpa. They're such good deals because they're not that popular. And but you know, so if you stick with popularity, you're going to lose out in two ways. You're going to pay more, and you're going to miss out on some really cool watches. Um, let's see what it's going. As I said, the Oris Bronze green pointer date is one of my favorites. Yeah, I like that one too. That is a cool watch. There are a lot of there are a lot of really cool watches that are affordable too. That's the other nice thing. Hey, Longshoreman 66, how you doing? Um, have you seen the new Oris Brown dial and bronze watch? I may have. I really like that combination though. That's a really cool combination. No more Parmigianis at Shopboard anywhere. No, there aren't. They're gone. I think they have one H Moser left too, and that's it. Yeah, those. I think, boy, the floodgates really opened on both of those watches. So, but you can find them if you go to certain places. You can look around. One thing I guess somebody took issue with something I said. Don't go to your AD for advice because they're going to sell you something that they have. Well, yeah, of course they would, but you know, there's some. I got this one guy said, "Well, let me tell you about my uncle or something. He went to get a he went to the Omega dealer wanting something he could go swimming with and so forth. And I guess he wanted a Speedy or one of those. And the guy said, "Oh no, don't get this. Across the street, if you go there and get a Rolex, you can get a I forgot which one it was, but Submariner or one of the ones you can take underwater with you." He said, "That's what you should get." And I'm thinking, "Ah, man, they should have started that story with Once Upon a Time and ended it with They Lived Happily Ever After." That happens every day. This is like God. I think he saw me fall off a turnip crop or something. That can happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. And I've met some really good ADs. I have, but you don't know they're good until until sometimes you don't know if they're good or bad until it's too late. Okay, hey Paul O'Shea, Merry Christmas to you and other watch junkies. You know who you are. No, we don't. Hey, Ivan, what happened to your message, Ivan? Okay, let's see. The Mosers are going up, especially the Pioneers. Uh, yeah, I think actually, aren't they sort of seen? I've seen sort of a a lot of Mosers are coming down toward a uh, right around 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, right in there, which is, compared to what they had before, they were all 25, $28,000, and now they've come down to a better price. They're using they're putting a lot of use to a movement called the HMC HMC 200. Okay, and so you'll see that in a lot of them. It's an automatic movement, and they're more popular, and so I think that that's one of the reasons that they thought, well, we might as well make people happy. What is your favorite American watch company? RGM. That's Now there's some other ones, but I don't know them that well. Let's see. Vintage. Something I wish I was in position to buy as a Moser back when Torno shop stopped repping them about a year ago. It's 50. Yeah. A lot of, yeah, they did go quickly, and yeah, they're worth it. They are such good watches. Mosers are so well built. They just incredible. Um, okay, Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Hey, I love you. Oh, thank you. I'm a student and don't know what to buy on a vintage. Vintage or modern, which brands do you recommend? Okay, happy holidays to you too. Here's the thing about vintage. I don't know that much about vintage. Honestly, I don't. And there are a lot of people, there are a lot of vintage groups, and there are a lot of issues and things that you need to look out for with vintage. The two vintage watches I have a 1968 um, Patek Philippe Calatrava, and then I have a 1940 Beauvais Mono Retropont, and that's it as far as, real vintage is concerned. One of the things that might be an interesting thing to go look for, and I may do it. I have another source too, and that is the Fuzian chain. That is something I think would be really cool to have. I don't have one, and they have them. Uh, Alanga Sundan make them, but they charge like 50,000 bucks or so. Um, Yeah, Don Torreneko, you say they're beyond your budget and your personal, and that could be true, but there, at least for a time, there were a lot of them available for really good prices, and the thing to do is to find those places and get them while they're low. Instead, the full price ones are pretty expensive, but you can find some great buys on those. The ones that were amazing deals were the older models. The Pioneer is selling very close to retail on the used market now. I was lucky to get a great deal. Yeah. Um, Vintage best values. I don't know. My favorite vintage is the group is you like the Assyrians. Okay. Remontois is too expensive. Oh man. That would be I would love to get a Remontois d'Egalite. That's about the closest I think I'll be able to come is a Jaja Lecoultre True Second, and the Remontois is on the True Second. It's not on the wheel train. Hey James, two good value third hand watches from some of the jewelry watchmakers. Bulgari Octo. Bulgari Octo is a really good buy now, an excellent buy. In fact, that was one I've been thinking of getting, but I'm committed on too many others right now. But that one is they have an in-house movement, and I forgot the number on it. But that Octo is a nice, really good watch. It's the kind of watch use for an office watch. You can use it for a dress watch. Nice watch. Okay, Moser's coming out with a chrono in 2020. I think an integrated bracelet. They'll get a lot of publicity. Yeah, I had heard that too, and as something I don't know why. I guess you know they I sort of like the fact that they didn't have a chronograph, but I think their bottom line would be a lot happier with a chronograph in their lineup. My favorite vintage looking watch is Universal Geneve chronograph. A lot of those. That's a good buy too, Rich Buddy. The those are those the Universal Geneves. They have some neat ones. They also have some really good line of regulators. If you want a regulator in your collection. Um, yeah, let's see. Okay. Okay, guys. Oh my goodness. I'm out of time. I gotta run. And oh my goodness. Thank God. All right. Well, listen, everybody. Thank you for coming. The the collection review tomorrow. There are so many watches you've never seen that are really interesting watches. And including one that's got this interesting movement. They've been talking about ETA sort of consolidating around just the ones they make. But some of the interesting things coming out are this one has one. Okay, so hope to see you tomorrow. And if I don't, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Take care.